All right, guys, so I got some new lug nuts for Ram Burgundy, lug nut covers, I should say. They're stainless. They are the right size for the hex part, but they unfortunately won't engage by much if I were to just push them on there like this. They'd probably stay, but if you were to bump them on something or even maybe walk into them, they'd probably pop off. Plus, they stick out farther than I'd like. So what we're gonna do is actually machine these things down so that they'll press on and they'll just press up against the base of the nut here. That washer spins independently, so I don't want to be pushing up against that. So we're going to make it so it pushes up against the base here. And then we're going to do a little bit of creative heating to try to get these things to match Ram Burgundy's color. So we'll see if we can make something cool happen, or we'll see if we can't ruin a whole bunch of lug nut covers. Okay, so we're all zeroed out and we're ready to go. I got my glasses on. That cap is not spinning as truly as the one I already did, but it's true to the sides, so that's actually how it should be spinning. So I think we're actually going to be improving this cap. And I can actually see on this cap that it has more of a lip on one side than the other. So I think a lot of that is just a cosmetic issue. So I'm gonna run this at 755 RPM. And then we just have to go to 0 on our digital readout. I don't know, I'm not an expert machinist. I don't know if 755 RPM is appropriate or not, but it seems to do okay. So there is the cap. It has a huge burr on it. That one appears to have been, that's about the same. I think that burr makes it look like, let's see if this guy will cut that off. We're going to cheat. We're going to use the file. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That's going to be a lot faster. I don't know if that's a recommended method or not, but it looks pretty good. So now we just have to do that 29 more times. No, 39 more times. Sorry about the camera turning, but I went ahead, or I'm going to go ahead here and make a different cutter. The carbide one works pretty good, but the problem is it's leaving that burr, and the filing that's time consuming. I mean, I know it's sped up. So I made one out of high speed steel here, and it is uh, radiused on the inside, so it has like an ID radius on it, and that way it's kind of cutting both sides of the chamfering both sides of the cap at the same time, if that makes sense. I got my bird helping me. You can probably hear him quacking. He's playing duck right now. But anyway, so that worked out really well. There it is in a little more detail. That worked out really good. The problem was, and because I'm not a machinist and I don't know, I think I might have had that thing spinning too fast because it was wearing that high-speed steel down quite a bit by the time I was done. I mean, we did have 40 of these things to make, so that cutter I think did about 30 of them, and it did wear it down a noticeable amount. So, but maybe if I went slower, again, I'm not a machinist, so I don't know. So let's get these caps on there, and then we are going to play with heating them to try to get them to turn red on the end and red on the inside. So it's going to take a little bit of trial and error, but I think we'll be able to do it. Okay. Spoiler alert: this first cap doesn't turn out very good. And what happened is, I introduced carbon into the end of it, so it turned blue basically, and I couldn't get rid of the blue. I tried quite a few things. So if you are wanting a darker cap, carbon in the end is good. And to do that, just putting a paper towel on there while it's too hot does introduce carbon in there, and it turns it a real nice blue if that's what you're going for. But I wasn't going for that, so and I could not get that carbon out of that one. So that cap ended up getting scrapped. So what I'm doing here is I'm using alcohol. So it's 70% isopropyl alcohol. And I think it's the water that's actually in it. That's what the other 30% of it is water. And I think the water is actually what gives it the red. What makes it stay red. You'll see here in a second. I actually finally get success here. Not that red, but the red that it's going to be here after I wipe it down. So I wipe the lug nut down with isopropyl alcohol first, so that there's no way carbon's getting introduced, and then heat it up. Let it cool down a little bit, but while it's still hot, I rub a wet isopropyl soaked rag on it, and that really makes them turn red. As you can see right there, it's like a burgundy color, so it matches the truck pretty good. So that works out pretty good. And then we're going to go through with a oxyacetylene torch, just so I can use the fine point of it to do the base around where it's butted up against the base of the lug nut. We're going to heat that up too, and that way the colors kind of transition through the lug nut. That was the look I was going for. It's personal preference thing, but that's what I wanted it to look like. So that's what I do. So you can just watch me trial and error this thing. little secret here. We're using Flood. That is Flood for oil-based paint. Its intended purpose is to alleviate brush marks when you're painting like cabinet doors and that type of stuff. But it works really, really good for kind of sealing stainless steel, like what we just did, or sealing a patina on a car. You'll have to reapply it once a year or so, but because it does wear off. But it's kind of like a detailing item, and it smells, kind of like Grandpa's workshop. So it's kind of a cool product that's being repurposed. So been around for a long time. But anyway, hopefully that was entertaining for you. I know I learned a lot, and hopefully you learned something too, or it motivates you to go try something. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.